IVM.
Welcome to Waddaplayah, your regular dose of sport fresh from the IVM studio. The biggest T20 league is currently underway, and we bring you updates, previews, reviews, and insights. Tune into the show on the IVM podcast app, website, or anywhere you get your podcast from.
Can I just turn back the clock? April 5th, 2005, it's that day when a certain long-haired youngster caught the world's eye with his brutal onslaught in Visakhapatnam. It was Mahendra Singh Dhoni's first international ton. This was after 4 games with poor returns in the circuit. Pakistan bore the brunt of it and rest, as they say, his history. That innings, like many other after it, made us go Waddaplayah when we think or talk of Dhoni. Welcome to the 5th episode of Waddaplayah. Bangalore have lost 4 games on the trot, and can they, like MS, make their 5th outing in this season's Indian T20 League count? We discuss that as they take on Kolkata at home tonight. Before that, we talk about Hyderabad becoming table toppers after beating Delhi last night. This and plenty more coming your way on the other side on Waddaplayah.
माणसं गोलगप्प्यासारखी असतात. हाय हॅलो करताना वेगळी आणि बोलताना वेगळी आणि गप्पा मारताना वेगळी, मित्र झाली की वेगळी आणि शत्रू म्हणून वेगळी, थोडक्यात दिसणारी वेगळी आणि असणारी वेगळी, कधी आंबट, कधी गोड, कधी तिखट, तर कधी चमचमीत आणि कधी कधी हॉट अँड स्पायसी सुद्धा. आणि म्हणूनच गप्पा गोल गप्पा विथ तृप्ती खामकर फक्त तुमच्यासाठी दर बुधवारी IVM पॉडकास्टच्या ऍपवर, वेबसाईटवर किंवा युट्यूब चॅनलवर सुद्धा ऐकू शकता. तुम्ही आमचा पॉडकास्ट वेगवेगळ्या पॉडकास्ट प्लॅटफॉर्मवरती ऐकू शकता. फक्त सर्च करा गोल गप्पा विथ तृप्ती खामकर आणि आमचा पॉडकास्ट ऐकत रहा.
Welcome to Waddaplayah. Yesterday we ran a poll. We asked our listeners who did they think will win the match, Hyderabad or Delhi? And dilly-ding, dilly-dong, I was on the happier end. Mate, what about you?
Do I need to even say that now again? I had taken the side of Delhi, and sadly they have disappointed me yet again. And I think the sides that I choose are just disappointing me day after day. Yesterday it was Chennai who disappointed me. Today it's Delhi. I don't know what to say.
By the way, I forgot to mention, I'm starting a tuitions where I teach my students how to predict the score line and the results well.
Irrespective of how I do, I'm not coming there. So you would rather go bankrupt with that. But talking about Delhi, their batting yet again collapsed. And this time it wasn't after having a good start. Only positive perhaps was Shreyas Iyer.
Agreed. Yesterday I did mention you about Rishabh Pant failing to bat and as a result the team collapsing. Do you still feel that Shreyas Iyer should bat first?
Yeah. I think he batted at the right spot. Now the point of contention is Akshar Patel's position for me. Like, I don't know from where the think tank thought that Rahul Tewatia was better suited to bat at number 5 ahead of perhaps Akshar Patel. And Akshar has this ability to play spin well. So on a slowish track also he scores quickly, like he showed yesterday with a 13 ball 23. So him up the order would have made more, I think it would have made much more difference than it did towards the end.
You know, Delhi have few more games in Kotla, and I've started realizing that the track is not suiting them. I was just thinking, what if Delhi's track is more like Wankhede? Then they have Bolt, Chris Morris, and then they also have Prithvi Shaw and Dhawan to lead the side.
Yeah, very interesting you brought the track up, because it seemed like a third evening or a fourth day pitch of a test match. It was slow, it was low, and it was sort of moving towards the Kotla pitch of 2015, where that famous blockathon test between India and South Africa was played. So such track doesn't, help Delhi with the side that it has. And I think, like Harsha Bogle mentioned in one of the columns that he writes, it's time that the curators spoke the language of the team.
You're so true that I feel that Delhi has the potential. They have the squad that can win matches. But yes, rightly said by Harsha Bogle that it's the right time for the curators to take a step forward and do the work for the team.
And also I think Delhi's selection was a bit flawed. Their 4 overseas players were Sandeep Lamichhane, Chris Morris, Colin Ingram and Kagiso Rabada. And the track that Ferozshah Kotla has, perhaps it suits a Chemo Paul better than having Colin Ingram, because Colin Ingram likes the ball to come onto the bat quickly, and that's how he scored his run traditionally across the world. So having him on a slowish surface doesn't help. While Kimo Paul plays on such tracks back home in the Windies. So I think that could have been a trade-off in my opinion.
Or do you think that Delhi can now have a mindset of playing well away rather than at home?
Yeah, you can have the mindset of winning away, but it's the home games that they would love to make an impact on. So if the track at home doesn't support them, it's hard to see them do well.
And what about the away side? The Orange Army. What a team.
It reminded me of the Hyderabad of the last couple of seasons, which we hadn't seen in the first 4 games so far. Like their bowlers were leaking runs to an extent of, having an asking rate of 9 per over. But yesterday they were stifling the opposition to a 129 score, which traditionally has been their strength, and that's how they were playing their games in the last season. So your Bhuvaneshwar Kumar was economical, your Rashid Khan chipped in with a wicket or so, your Mohammad Nabi did well. So these are the traits that you associate with Hyderabad, and that's what they, gave us yesterday.
True, I feel that they always have that one bankable player. Yesterday it was that important knock from Bairstow.
Yeah, Bairstow was a level above the others. So on a track which was very slow, and we are saying that it is not good for batting, he showed all how to play. Of course, things helped him. I mean, Akshar Patel helped him by dropping a catch, and I think it was fairly easy one. He should have held on to it, and probably, who knows, you could have seen a different end. But Bairstow showed us all how, stroke playing can help even on that surface, and he again overpowered Warner in that sense. So Warner was a distant second. So yes, he set the momentum in the chase, and even after the openers fell when the score was 68, things were not that bad for them.
At one point of time I thought that match will get over by 14 overs. But I realized that after Bairstow got out, new players who did not get much time in the crease, like Huda, Manish Pandey, Yusuf Pathan, realized that they still need time. They need more balls to face. And fortunately, they had overs in hand. But do you think that the match should not have been gone to 19 overs?
After all these years of watching the Indian T20 League, one thing I've made sure that I won't predict these things like the match will end earlier. The day you pack your bags and are ready to leave your work, or, switch off the TV at say 11:30, your game stretches beyond midnight at times. And I think one of the threats that you talk about when you talk about Hyderabad as a side is their untested middle order.
Yeah, so true.
Manish Pandey doesn't get to face too many. He doesn't get much game time. So is the case with Deepak Huda and Yusuf Pathan. So it had to get tested, and yesterday it did. And also the thing with Manish Pandey, what I've observed is he plays these unbelievable knocks in games that are not televised or, not widely popular. Like he did so in the India A versus New Zealand A series at the start of the year. And then even in some of the games of the Syed Mushtaq Ali Trophy. Mm-hmm. But these T20 League games that get televised world over, there he is not able to perform to his potential. So that's something that he needs to work on.
But don't you think that when your middle order is struggling and when the opposing team gets wickets, like it happened yesterday, the match gets interesting?
Yeah, that makes it interesting, of course. But again, in such cases, it's like your batsman letting you down more than the others. Yep. And who was the player that you loved watching yesterday?
I was waiting for this question. Mohammad Nabi. What a player, man. What a player.
Right, you are spot on. Yeah, he was really terrific. I'll throw up a fact here. He's turned out for Hyderabad 7 times across 3 seasons. Mm-hmm. Just 7 times. And on each of those occasions, Hyderabad have won.
Oh.
So look at the impact that guy creates. And look at the selection. It's not like he's there and he wins us games, so let us select him for all games. They always strategize and, look at the opposition and then select him. Because of his 9 wickets in the Indian T20 League, 7 of them are left-handers. So
That's interesting.
That speaks a lot. And this at a time when you say finger spinners are, getting out of the game. They don't have a future in the shorter formats. When you say this and you then put a Mohammad Nabi in perspective, there's a different movie that's going on.
You mentioned finger spinners. I have a fact for you, my dear friend. Since his arrival in the tournament, Nabi holds the best economy rate among finger spinners, who has bowled at least 100 balls or more, 5.7, and second best average, 15.22. That's amazing.
Credit to him. And who would have imagined that a spinner from an associate nation like Afghanistan would rule the roost? So it's really surprising. At the same time, it is pleasing to see these things happen.
The best part for me has been that Nabi is not a mystery spinner. He knows his strengths. He understands his weakness. He's just the off spinner. He knows where to bowl, and that's it. And that's it. He gets you wickets. He gets you runs. What more can you ask for?
Nothing. As a captain, I don't want anything more than this. And he's a wonderful team player as well. That's what, appeals to me more as well.
And now with Nabi making such a strong mark, do you feel that there should be no changes in the Hyderabad squad?
I think it makes situation very tough for them. Of course, it's a happy headache to have for the Hyderabad side because your Kane Williamson is out and he'll be, desperate to make that in.
On that note, let's take a short break on Waddaplayah. After the break, we discuss today's match, Kolkata versus Bangalore. Don't go anywhere. We will be right back.
Hello, everybody. Welcome to another awesome week on the IVM Podcast Network. If you're not following us on social media, please make sure that you do. We're IVM Podcast on Facebook, Twitter, and Instagram. Please do. With the upcoming election season just around the corner, in case you really wanted a deep dive into some of the issues that matter, you should check out some of the shows on our network. Shows like Ganatantra, The Seen and the Unseen, The Pragati Podcast, Pulya Bazi, and even How to Citizen look into some of the issues that really do matter. This week on Cyrus Says, Cyrus is joined by Tripti Khamkar. Tripti talks about how she got into acting from a young age, convincing her family, discovering her comedic talent, and her very own podcast, Golgappa. On Shunya One, Varun Deshpande from the Good Food Institute joins us to talk about the Good Food Institute and the work that they're doing. On Thalle Harate, our Kannada podcast, Pawan and Surya discuss the Indian judiciary and all that we need to know about its citizens. On Paisa Vaisa, Anupam hosts an hour-long special with Anil Gilani, head of passive investments at DSP Mutual Fund, and Mukesh Agarwal, CEO of NSE Indices, India's largest index and index service provider. This week, look out for the 50th episode of the Habit Coach podcast. Host Ashton Doctor is joined by a special guest on this one. And with that, let's continue with your show.
Welcome back to Waddaplayah. Fridays are meant for new movie releases. Mate, tonight's teams, Bangalore as well as Kolkata, have some Bollywood connection. Shah Rukh Khan owns one while Anushka Sharma is the wife of the captain of the other. Hit or flop show tonight?
Definitely a hit. Keeping aside the Bollywood connection they have. But yes, two terrific teams, and especially in Chinnaswamy, yeah, it will be a good game.
Let's straight away dive into it and have a look at Bangalore. 4 games, 4 opening pairs. How's things? It's a very unsettling situation to be in.
Yes, I do feel it is unsettling for Bangalore. But I also feel that Kohli won't hesitate in making more changes. That also brings me to my next question. Who should he open the innings with?
I think he'd rather come to open the innings is what I personally feel. Like in the Indian T20 League, he'd rather open along with, say, a Parthiv. That works. Then your middle order and lower order can then settle. Alternatively, like we talked about even in the last Bangalore preview, Marcus Stoinis can open. He had a good BBL opening the innings. So that's an option as well. And another out-of-the-box thinking would be to yet again change and bring a Washington Sundar in.
Yeah, that can be interesting.
Yeah, you can bring him. He's been unutilized this season.
And even Pawan Negi.
Yeah, Pawan Negi, but he's not an opener as such. And again, considering it's a short boundaries, so I don't think a Negi comes into picture as much as Washington Sundar does. So your Sundar can open the batting as well, and he can provide you the bowling in the power play. He's been doing that for India in the last year. So that's an option for if you talk about Bangalore.
But then who should they get out? If they get Washington Sundar in the squad, then they have to remove one bowler, I believe. Will it be a fast bowler?
I think Shimron Hetmeyer is overcooked, so you better remove him. So a batsman goes out, so Tim Saudi, you can get Tim Saudi in, so your bowling firepower is increased. And then your Washington Sundar can also come in place of one of the Indian bowlers like a Navdeep Saini. So it gives you good balance as well. Or a Mohammad Siraj for that matter. But Mohammad Siraj has a good last game where he was quite economical in a low scoring game. So let him stay. But you remove your Indian bowlers, get a foreign one in, and then change the top just to make sure that your batting can be stronger.
But how good have Kolkata been? Another big day for Andre Russell?
I believe it will be because Andre Russell doesn't need second invitation to send the ball into Galaxy. So, and keeping in mind the dimension of Chinnaswamy, I think it's party time for him.
West Indians just don't fail to entertain you. What a man. Your Waddaplayah contender?
Oh yes, I won't, risk choosing someone else when Andre Russell is an option. So he is my Waddaplayah contender for the day. But I also would like to keep an eye on Kuldeep Yadav. He's coming on the back of that last over where he bowled to Delhi. And it was a very close game which went into the super over, of course. But he bowled that last over and, kept Delhi under control.
Mate, I've started realizing you are playing very safe these days. This is not fair.
No, I just told you I am going with Andre Russell as my Waddaplayah contender.
What about the predictions? Who do you think will win the match today?
I am comfortably sitting in Bangalore's dugout because it's 4 games, and as I said, Bangalore are to do an MS here. 4 games failure in international circuit, 5th one a blazing ton, 148, and here Bangalore 4 games bad one, forget it, 5th one come back with a boom.
Makes sense, but I'll still go with Kolkata here, hoping that Bangalore will prove me wrong.
Oh, so here you are doing a me. You are setting 1 foot in each of the dugouts. That's very clever, huh?
I
That's
just
not
wanted
done.
to make you realize how does it feel to be on the other end. Take it.
Too clever, trying to act clever. It won't help, but I tell you, if Bangalore win, I'm not going to give 1% credit of that, and I'm not going to share the joys of that with you.
Let's see. To all the listeners, what do you feel? Do you think that Bangalore will register their first win? Share your predictions with us. You can reach out to us at IVM Podcast on Instagram, Facebook and Twitter and use the hashtag Waddaplayah. It's WADDAPLAYAH. That's all we have today. See you next time.
Hey everybody, we have a brand new podcast series by Bloomberg Quint called BQ Conversations, which covers a range of topics like business strategies, latest trends in technology such as cybersecurity and artificial intelligence, and also personal finance. Episodes are out on the IVM Podcast app or wherever you listen to podcasts.
Do you wish you were smarter? Well, so do we. But the next best thing?
We could make you sound smarter.
And to help you with this endeavor, we are Simplified, a podcast that attempts to break down the complex world around you with a little knowledge, a lot of poor jokes, and a ton of random trivia.
Episodes out every Monday.
On the IVM Podcast app or wherever you get your podcasts.
See ya!